Hello, friends. Today we are going to learn what is Kidder's dilemma paradigm and how it's useful to GS4 ethics paper in UPSC exam. If you remember earlier, in earlier video, I have told that there are about 27 ethical theories or principles which can be applied in different situations to the case studies which are asked in GS4 ethics paper. And these principles are also useful for quoting when we write theoretical questions of section A. So this Kidder's dilemma paradigms is one of that ethical principle. So today we will actually learn what is the Kidder's paradigm and how it's applicable. Along with examples, we will see how it is useful to GS4 ethics paper. Okay, so now let us start. Kidder was one of the important American ethicists. He has basically given dilemma paradigms stating that uh, most genuine ethical dilemmas are not about right versus wrong, rather right versus right. Rather, they are right versus right. So this is what he has told in his basic theory, and the core focus uh, of his whole theory is that real ethical dilemmas are right versus right conflicts and not right versus wrong. So in our case studies also, which we are going to get in GS4 paper, we know that in most, nowadays anyway, complicated case studies are being asked where more than one theoretical principle or ethical principle is applied. But usually the dilemmas are right versus right. For example, uh, anyway, we'll see there are four scenarios he has put. Kidder has identified four classical paradigms of moral conflict. So that one by one we will see. But the main emphasis is that most of the real ethical dilemmas are right versus right. So either choices we can justify if we want. So, Kidder has given basically four classical paradigms of moral conflict that occur not only in professional life as a civil servant, but also in personal life. Also, it can occur. So now let us see what are those four ethical dilemmas and how they are applicable to various situations in real life with examples. So first, he has given truth versus loyalty. So he says sometimes the conflict is between truth versus loyalty. Uh, for example, let us learn it by example. A junior officer uh, discovers, a civil servant discovers some financial irregularity committed by his superior or senior. Now, should he report the truth or should he remain loyal to his mentor? So, this is basically dilemma. On the one hand, truthfulness is there. On the other hand, loyalty is there. So, this is an example we can understand. Uh, Basically, here the ethical tension or ethical issue involved is truth versus loyalty, which means truth promotes public accountability, loyalty values trust and cohesion. So both are important qualities, but which one will be chosen depends on the situation. So this is first conflict he has paradigm he has um, uh, um, noted. Now second is individual versus community. Now see, sometimes individual rights are in question, sometimes community rights and community welfare is in question. So for example, we will understand this also by example. Suppose a policymaker has to decide to allow to operate a factory. Now factory gives a lot of job, economic development, taxes, etc., but it's polluting the it pollutes the river, affecting thousands of communities because drinking water, irrigation, etc. is from river water. So now what one will choose? Whether one will choose individual employment or economic development, or the pollution which is affecting uh, thousands of people for drinking water and this thing. So this here again The ethical issue involved is individual rights, that is liberty or livelihood, versus collective good, that is health, sustainability, etc. Now, third example which he has given is short term versus long term. Now, there may be some option may result in immediate relief or immediate benefit. Some will result in long term. For example, granting immediate subsidies. Suppose some financial subsidies are given now. Most of the governments are giving anyway financial subsidies. Now that is immediate relief. And now if you invest that amount or that money in education, in infrastructure, etc., that is long term benefit. So here you may have to choose. Suppose limited budget is there. Now what will you do? How will you spend? So this is one example where short term versus long term. Here, the ethical issue involved is political pressure and project needs, that is versus sustainability, because usually the subsidies are given due to political pressure, or you can say sometimes political agenda also. And long term definitely results in sustainability, fiscal discipline, and future welfare. Now, fourth, he has given example justice versus mercy. Now, dilemma may emerge out of, suppose you apply the principle strict fairness and legal principles of justice, or showing compassion or forgiveness or mercy. Now, if you can understand, we can understand by example. Suppose there is a case where a single mother is there and she has violated some office rule or something. Now, you can terminate her service or show some leniency depending on the situation. So here, the ethical issue involved will be upholding the law versus understanding human circumstances and showing empathetic governance. So this again is a dilemma, which is right versus right. Now, what Kidder'S says is basically, you have to first find out what kind of dilemma is involved in that case, particular Kidder'S, and the resolution of this dilemma is not suggested by Kidder, because Kidder'S paradigm is only for analysis of the case study. He says that for resolution, you have to apply the core ethical principles. What are core ethical principles? For example, end-based thinking, that is utilitarianism of Bentham and Mill, or rule-based thinking, that is deontology of Kant, or care-based thinking, or virtue ethics of Aristotle, or Gita, Niskam, Karma. So something, I mean, some principle has to be applied for resolving that paradigm or resolving that dilemma, because Kidder's paradigms, I mean, itself will not suggest any solution. So this is what Kidder. So, but the main issue, which why it is important, is for analyzing the case study. So Kidder's paradigm provides a practical framework for analyzing complex ethical case studies. So this is important here. And I mean, especially where competing values are equally valid, as we have seen, individual versus community, or short term versus long term. Such kind of values will be there which are equally valid. So understanding these four dilemmas equips with a nuanced perspective essential for ethical governance. So this is what Kidder's. Now, how we can use this in GS Ethics 4 paper? Referencing Kidder's framework enhances your answer by showing structured, reflective, and principle-based reasoning. So if you use this Kidder's dilemma or Kidder's dilemma paradigm, definitely you are going to score better marks, because it shows that you are able to understand the issue, you are able to analyze the whole issue better. So basically now this is Kidder's paradigm, but subsequently in next videos we will also see what are other ethical theories, other ethical principles which we can understand and apply on the case studies. Now, with this, I thank all the viewers, and I end this video today. Thank you very much. So we'll close it now.